Retatrutide might actually be the most powerful liver health medication disguised as a weight loss drug. I know that sounds crazy. Everyone's talking about the 28.7% weight loss, the appetite suppression, the metabolic benefits. How the numbers fall within bariatric surgery range. Pretty wild. I know, we've probably seen and talked about it a lot. I've covered all of that in my previous videos, but what I haven't told you yet, why does Retatrutide change something inside of your body that Semaglutide and Tirzepatide doesn't? It isn't the appetite story, so what was I missing? When I saw the data, it completely changed how I think about this peptide. I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I lead the coaching department at our nationwide GLP-1 clinic. And I've personally lost over 100 pounds using the same strategies that I teach our patients, and now I work alongside our medical team, helping people navigate exactly these kinds of decisions. See, when I first looked at the Retatrutide data, I focused on the scale and the numbers like everybody else. But then I saw this number, 80 to 86% reduction in liver fat. That is massive. They're not talking weight loss here. We're talking liver fat specifically. And based on comparisons across different studies, that number appears substantially higher than what we would see with other GLP-1 medications, semaglutide or Tirzepatide, in their appropriate liver fat loss. We're talking results that in separate trials approach what liver-specific drugs and bariatric surgeries have achieved. So today, I'm going to show you what Retatrutide does beyond appetite suppression, why the liver story matters even if you don't think you have a liver problem, and how this connects to a metabolic state that normally requires significantly extended fasting periods and other advanced strategies. Now, before I show you what Retatrutide does to the liver, you need to understand why this matters, because most people hear liver and think, well, that's not my problem, my liver is fine. You see, here's the thing. Fatty liver disease is one of the most common conditions in America and one of the most undiagnosed. We're talking 1 in 3 adults are walking around with excessive amounts of fat in their liver, and most of them, like you, might have no idea. No symptoms, normal blood work. Doctor never mentions it. You feel fine until you don't. You see, your liver isn't just some filter sitting in your body. It's your metabolic command center. It controls how you process sugar, how you store body fat, how you burn fat, how your hormones function. Everything runs through the liver. So when your liver gets clogged with fat, it's like trying to run a business where a CEO is just buried under paperwork. Decisions get delayed, signals get missed, the whole operation slows down. And here's the vicious cycle that nobody talks about. See, fatty liver drives insulin resistance, and insulin resistance drives more fat into the liver. It's a vicious cycle that spirals out of control. And this is why some people lose weight on the scale, but still feel stuck metabolically speaking. Their liver is still clogged. The command center is still overwhelmed, and no amount of calorie cutting is going to fix that. You can lose 30 pounds and still have a fatty liver. The scale doesn't show you what's happening inside the body, which is exactly why what I'm about to show you with Retatrutide matters so much. Please pay attention to this part. So when I tell you Retatrutide reduces liver fat by 80 to 86%, I'm not talking about some minor bonus effect. I'm talking about addressing a root cause tied to insulin resistance that most people don't even know they have. And here's where it gets interesting. Retatrutide does something fundamentally different from other GLP-1 medications, and I'm going to break it all down for you. Now, if you watched my previous videos on Retatrutide, you know it activates 3 receptors, okay? The GLP-1, the GIP, and the new boy, the new kid to the block, the glucagon. Tirzepatide hits 2 and semaglutide hits 1. Retatrutide, we're talking all 3. And here's what I didn't fully explain before. What that 3rd receptor, glucagon, actually does, and specifically why it bolsters the liver fat effect. You see, glucagon receptors are mostly found in the liver, more than almost anywhere else in your body. Your liver is basically covered in glucagon receptors waiting for that signal. And when glucagon activates those receptors, it tells your liver one thing: stop storing and start burning fat, baby. That's what glucagon does. It does a lot more than that, but that's one of the primary things that it does. Now, here's the analogy that made this click for me. Think of your liver fat like a bathtub filling with water. Semaglutide and Tirzepatide, they turn down the faucet. Less food coming in, less fat being deposited. The tub fills slower. That's great. That's why they work. But glucagon opens the drain. It tells your liver to actually burn the fat that's already stored there, not just slow down the storage, actually releasing and burning the fat. Now, of course, you burn fat on Tirzepatide. I'm not saying that you don't, but it's a different pathway with Retatrutide. So Retatrutide is doing both, turning down the faucet with the GLP-1 and the GIP and opening the drain with the glucagon component. Now, if this open the drain liver effect has you thinking about your own situation, maybe you've been told that your enzymes are a little elevated, or you suspect something metabolically speaking is happening underneath the surface, this is what we offer our free discovery calls, where our patient advocates can help assess what's actually going on with you, metabolically speaking. You can either text number on the screen, or you can check out the link in the description if you want to explore that. But first, let me show you why the liver fat numbers are so dramatically different. About 50% reduction with semaglutide, up to 55 with tirzepatide, but 80 to 86 with retatrutide. It's not just a little better, it's completely different mechanism working on top of the appetite suppression. And here's something important. Based on how it works, researchers believe some of this liver fat reduction may happen even aside from the weight that you lose, meaning the glucagon appears to be directly acting on your liver, not just helping because you're eating less. The medication is literally telling your liver to burn its fat, and that's a fundamentally different approach. Now, if that faucet and drain analogy just made something click for you, and you're realizing that there might be something going on inside of your body more than just appetite, hit that subscribe button right now, because we put out 4 videos per week breaking down exactly this kind of metabolic science so that you can make smarter decisions about your health. Now, speaking of this liver mechanism, let me show you the actual numbers, because when I say retatrutide is dramatically different liver fat, I want you to see exactly what I mean. So semaglutide, which is Ozempic and Wegovy, the most robust trial data show about 50% liver fat reduction. That's great, that's solid, that's meaningful. Nobody says semaglutide doesn't help the liver. And then there's tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro and Zepbound. This is Mounjaro. Studies show up to 55% liver fat reduction depending on the dose. Again, real results, meaningful improvement. But retatrutide, 80 to 86% liver fat reduction. So I need you to understand something. That's not incrementally better. That's not 10% more effective. That's roughly 50% more liver fat reduction than tirzepatide achieves. A substantial difference. And here's the number that really got my attention. In the retatrutide trials, 89 to 93% of the patients achieved what's called liver fat normalization, meaning their liver fat dropped below 5%, which is considered in the healthy range. 9 out of 10 patients walked away with a healthy liver, not just improved, but complete normalized. To put this in perspective, in separate studies, those results compare favorably to bariatric surgery outcomes for fatty liver disease. We're talking about a medication producing liver transformations that previously we only saw with major bariatric surgeries. And remember what I said earlier, we're not talking about appetite suppression only. So if you've been stuck in this cycle, losing weight on the scale, but feeling metabolically sluggish, still dealing with energy crashes, still fighting what feels like insulin resistance, this might actually be the reason, so you need to pay attention to this. Your liver might still be clogged, and no amount of appetite suppression alone is gonna open that drain. So if you're wondering whether this applies to you personally, keep watching, because the blood marker proof here is going to make this crystal clear, and I'm going to do my best to break it down so that you can actually understand this. Okay, first things first, proof this is happening inside your body. There's a blood marker that confirms the liver is burning fat, and it connects directly to something that I teach patients about when we talk about fasting. You guys know that I'm a big fan of therapeutic fasting. So I've told you that retatrutide is opening the drain and the liver is burning fat, but how do we actually know that that's happening? What's the one biomarker that acts like a metabolic lie detector? So let me show you. There's a blood marker called beta hydroxybutyrate. It's a ketone body, and when your liver is actually burning fat for fuel, this marker rises in your blood. In the retatrutide trials, beta hydroxybutyrate levels increased significantly compared to when they started. The data shows meaningful ketone elevation at 24 weeks and beyond. That's a noticeable metabolic shift. Now here's why this is so significant. Normally, the only way to get your ketones to rise like that is through long-form fasting, extreme calorie deficits, or a pure ketogenic diet. We're talking a 24, 36-hour plus absence from food. That's when your body switches from pure glucose burning to more pure fat burning. That's when the liver starts producing these ketone bodies. This is why I teach patients through our flow protocol, strategic long-form fasting, tailored and monitored under medical supervision to achieve metabolic flexibility. Your body's ability to efficiently switch fuel sources and produce ketones. Always work with your clinicians before attempting these extended fasts. But here's what's interesting about retatrutide. Based on the trial measurements, patients appear to show elevated ketones even when they're eating, not even fasting, during eating windows. How it works suggests that their liver may be producing ketones similar to what we see in extended fasting, even though they had dinner last night. That appears to be the glucagon receptor at work, stimulating the liver to oxidize fat, regardless of being in the fed state or not. When I tried retatrutide myself, I noticed something different. It wasn't just appetite suppression that I felt before on tirzepatide. This was different. I felt as if my body was mobilizing fat differently, more energy during the fast, less of that sluggish, holding on feeling. I got leaner. I got better results of Retatrutide, but it didn't suppress my appetite as much, and I'll talk about that later. Now, at that time, I couldn't fully explain it, but now looking at the ketone data, it makes complete sense to me. The liver was in a fat burning mode, even when I wasn't pushing it with as much extended fasting. Now, quick safety check. When we talk about ketones rising, some people get nervous. They think ketoacidosis. That's a dangerous state that diabetics can actually experience. This is not that. No ketoacidosis episodes occurred in the trials despite the ketone levels elevating. The levels that we're seeing with Retatrutide are in a helpful range, well below dangerous levels. Your body is burning fat efficiently, and that's a good thing. For years, our doctors have prescribed peptides like AOD 9604 to help the body release stored fat in our patients, and we stacked it with Tirzepatide and we get phenomenal results. Patients we work with often report that it helps them tap into the stored fat effectively, making those longer fasting protocols that we talked about earlier such a valuable tool that they can actually get done. What Retatrutide appears to be doing is achieving something similar, but through the glucagon receptor built right into the medication. It's essentially supporting your body's ability to switch fuel sources more efficiently. If you've ever noticed that some people seem to lose more while on Retatrutide, this might be the answer. The liver is doing extra work, burning fat, producing ketones, helping create a bigger calorie gap beyond just appetite suppression. Now, if you want me to do a complete dive into fatty liver disease, the tests that you should be looking for, the lifestyle changes that you should be doing to reverse that, alcoholic versus non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, let me know in the comments if that would be helpful to you. So now the question becomes, does this change who should consider Retatrutide? This is where a lot of people choose wrong if they don't know their primary struggle. In my previous videos comparing Retatrutide to Tirzepatide, I give you a framework based on food chatter, that constant mental noise around food, the obsessive thinking, the inability to stop eating even when you're full. For a lot of people, eliminating food chatter is the primary struggle. And based on what we observe in our clinic, those patients often report stronger appetite suppression with Tirzepatide. The two receptors working together, the GLP-1 and the GIP, tend to silence that mental noise more completely in our experience. Not for everybody, but for a good portion of our patients. Now, that framework still stands based on our clinical observations. I'm not walking that back. But here's what I'm adding: a second factor, metabolic dysfunction. You see, some people's primary struggle isn't just food chatter alone. It's that their metabolism is broken at a deeper level. Insulin resistance, fatty liver, that feeling of being metabolically stuck no matter what they do. And I'm seeing this play out in our clinic. Retatrutide patients are reporting something different from Tirzepatide patients when it's actually working for them. Even when the appetite suppression feels less intense, and for a lot of people, like I talked about, it genuinely does, yet they still continue to lose some fat. We're seeing liver enzymes improve faster. We're seeing metabolic markers shift in ways that go beyond what we typically see with Tirzepatide alone. Again, this is for some patients. For other people, they're on Retatrutide, their food chatter is still present, and they're not losing any weight because they're not able to get into a calorie deficit. So the nuance here matters. So the question that you need to ask yourself is this: what's my primary struggle? Is it the food chatter piece, the mental obsession, the inability to stop thinking about food? If that's your core issue, that earlier guidance, that's going to be what matters most for you. Or is it metabolic dysfunction, insulin resistance, the feeling that your body is holding on to fat no matter what you do, a history of fatty liver disease, or elevated enzymes? If that's your core issue, Retatrutide's liver effect changes that decision. And here's the honest truth: most people have both, some degree of food chatter and some degree of metabolic dysfunction. The question is, which one is primary? Which one is the bigger roadblock for you right now? Now, have you actually tried Retatrutide? Let me know in the comments. Did you love it? Was it everything you hoped for? Or were you the other bucket of people who didn't like it because you weren't getting the appetite suppression that you needed? Let me know in the comments and I'm going to personally respond to that. Okay, so let me give you the 3 paths based on what we've covered so far. Path number 1, your primary struggle is food chatter. You can't stop thinking about food. You eat when you're not hungry. You feel controlled by cravings. The mental noise is the main thing holding you back. If that's you, Tirzepatide with proper optimization, maybe add some AOD, that's probably the best choice to go. You can absolutely achieve amazing results on Tirzepatide, and we have hundreds of patients doing exactly that. Path number 2, your primary struggle is metabolic dysfunction. The food chatter doesn't seem to be the primary issue. You've got elevated liver enzymes. You know you have fatty liver disease. Maybe you've lost weight before, but your body seems to fight you every step of the way. The issue feels deeper than willpower or appetite only. If that's you, then Retatrutide's liver effect genuinely tilts the decision. Possibly that's the glucagon receptor opening the drain, producing ketones, directly addressing the metabolic root cause. This is where Reta's unique mechanism really shines. And then there's path 3. You have the budget, you want the most powerful option, and you're ready to try the cutting edge options. If that's you, go for it with Retatrutide, work with your care team, whoever that is, but, and this is important, go into it with your eyes open. Retatrutide might not give you the same food chatter elimination that Tirzepatide does, and some patients notice that difference and they have to switch back. So be prepared for that possibility. Or consider stacking it with your Tirzepatide at the same time under proper medical supervision. We have plenty of cases where we end up stacking both. Here's what I tell patients. Most powerful does not automatically mean the best for you or the best for everybody in general. The best patients in our clinic aren't necessarily on the strongest medication. They're on the right medication for their situation. That's the nuance that gets lost in all the Retatrutide hype. It's an incredible tool, maybe the most powerful we've ever had in the GLP-1 space, but powerful only matters if it matches your specific needs. Now, here's what I didn't cover today. Retatrutide is doing something interesting to cholesterol carriers and cholesterol particles that goes beyond what we typically see in our GLP-1 patients. The trial data showed significant improvements in cholesterol markers, non-HDL cholesterol, ApoB, triglycerides, effects that we don't see to the same degree with other medications in this class. Be on the lookout because that video is going to be coming out probably 1 week after this one. Okay, so here's the bottom line, and then I'll give you the simple next step. Retatrutide isn't just a stronger appetite suppressant. In fact, it might not even be a stronger appetite suppressant. In most cases, it's not. It's fundamentally changing what's happening inside your liver, opening the drain, producing ketones, and creating a metabolic state that normally requires extended fasting periods. For some people, that liver effect is the missing piece, and for others, the food chatter control is still the priority, and figuring out which camp you fall into, that's the real decision. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't know which struggle is primary for me, I don't even know where to start. I don't know if my liver is an issue, and I don't know whether Retatrutide or Tirzepatide makes more sense for my situation. That's exactly what we offer our free discovery calls for. You can either text the number on the screen, or you can check out the link in the description and you'll get to connect with one of our patient advocates. They're going to walk through your health history, what you've already tried, what hasn't worked, and the goals that you're actually chasing. You'll get a feel for how we work, what it's like to work with me, my coaches, the medical team, the whole approach. Then they're going to review some programs and pricing with you so that you can see what long-term success with our team could actually look like. And of course, while remembering that this video is educational and not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Now, as you know, food is such a big piece. What you put into your body matters most. So if you haven't seen this video right here, check out this one right here where I dive into the top 20 groceries that everybody should have stacked in their refrigerator right now. So check out that video and I'll see you guys later.